lovers, and welcome to the Liberty Mike podcast, broadcasting from an undisclosed location in the heart of Dixie. I am Michael, and I am here with Liberty Larry.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a pretty dangerous move to just leave that bottle sitting on the counter while we record.
Oh, yeah, I don't have anywhere else to put it. I'm out of,
Out of holes?
yeah, out of space.
Yeah.
In the cabinets and in the cabinets and in the cabinets.
Well,
So my 3 liquor cabinets are all full.
yeah. I mean, generally what we do before a podcast is we both pour a drink. I usually pour small ones because I got to drive later. And we sit here and drink and record the podcast. But with the bottle just sitting there, it's very tempting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? A friend of mine gave me that bottle last night.
It's a good bottle.
Yeah. So we drank some of it last night too.
Yeah.
Less than we have at some of those little events. We drank I don't know, a month or so ago. We drank almost a whole bottle of scotch
Yeah.
in an evening.
In the evening, yeah.
Yeah, that was that might have been a mistake. But it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good bottle of scotch. It was like a $200 bottle of scotch because no scotch is really cheap.
Yeah.
But it was a good one. I'd had it for a while, and I drank out of it a little bit, but we finished the bottle that night, and it's well worth it because I like sharing that stuff with.
Yeah. It's fun to drink with people who appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. Although one of the guys last night just like poured some of that and just like threw it back. I was like, well, that was a waste.
I mean, it is. I agree that it's a waste, but at the same time, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
To me, that's better than pouring like Coke on top of it or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I had the same discussion at a state libertarian meeting where I brought a bottle of this.
Yeah.
And I took it to the awards night ceremony and was like passing it out to people.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a younger guy, like a much younger guy, like early 20s,
Yeah.
that was there. And so I'm pouring this glass for a bunch of people, like Elijah and people like this, you know.
Yeah.
And we're all sipping our whiskey, and I pour this glass for this guy, and he just like shoots it. And like
What is it
everybody in the room was like, "What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
Right.
No, you're drinking Jack Daniels the rest of the night.
You're cut off from the good stuff.
Yeah. So last month was Constitution Month.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know until after our last podcast. They didn't advertise it because we don't.
We don't really celebrate that anymore.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to talk about the Constitution in this country now.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that it was worth bringing up.
Yeah.
And like what's happened.
Yeah.
I suppose. I remember my mom asking me at one point, like, well, who was the first president that violated the Constitution? I was like, Washington.
Yeah.
Like, it started happening immediately.
Yeah.
They set rules for themselves, and then they're like,
Yeah, but we can.
that's inconvenient.
Yeah, we can bend this a little bit, right?
Yeah. But I did pull up, because this is one of my favorite writers about the Constitution and its lack of authority and so forth. It's Lysander Spooner.
Okay.
And so I did pull up earlier. This isn't from the Constitution of No Consent, which I recommend people read. It's long,
Yeah.
but he's a lively writer, and it's very logical, and he goes through an argument as to why the Constitution doesn't have any authority, which is essentially that nobody really agreed to it, and those people that did agree to it aren't alive anymore,
Right.
and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And he has a thing about voting that actually I'd like to come back to in a minute. But first I wanted to read this bit, and I know I cite this a lot on this podcast, but there's always new people, so I'm going to read the whole section in his introduction to No Treason, which he wrote at the end of the Civil War about the question of whether the leaders of the Confederacy should be held for treason against the United States.
Yeah.
His argument was no.
Yeah.
But I find this part like particularly interesting about political authority generally, or government authority generally. He says, the principle on which the war was waged by the North was simply this: that men may rightfully be compelled to submit to and support a government that they do not want, and that resistance on their part makes them traitors and criminals. No principle that is possible to be named can be more self-evidently false than this, or more self-evidently fatal to all political freedom. Yet it triumphed in the field and is now assumed to be established. If it really be established, the number of slaves, instead of having been diminished by the war, has been greatly increased. For a man thus subjected to a government that he does not want is a slave, and there is no difference in principle, but only in degree, between political and chattel slavery. The former, no less than the latter, denies a man's ownership of himself and the products of his labor, and asserts that other men may own him and dispose of him and his property for their uses and at their pleasure.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It just made you reading that made me just think. So I guess all of us libertarians are slaves
Oh, yeah.
because we're all living under a government that we don't want.
Yeah.
So I guess as a libertarian, that's a martyr we can claim.
Moniker?
Moniker? Yeah, there
Maybe.
you go. Yeah.
We can claim to be martyrs, maybe,
Oh, well.
because of that moniker.
That comes later, right?
Yes, yeah. You're not rushing to martyrdom. I'm hoping. Yeah, I find that argument very compelling.
I agree.
And it's like one of these things where you see over time, like you hear about constitutional lawyers and you're like, oh, great, I'm so glad that those people are there. And then you learn that constitutional lawyer is a euphemism for the people that are there to try and reinterpret the language to excuse themselves for breaking the Constitution.
Yeah, Obama was a constitutional lawyer.
Right.
I mean, that's all you need to know.
And he was definitely a pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a pro.
Exactly.
It just shows that, like, I guess it shows that you need revolution from time to time because nothing can restrain a government.
Yeah, it will only grow over time.
Mm-hmm. Every little crisis, real or imagined, becomes an excuse to accumulate more power and concentrate it at the top, which is our real problem now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough that governments seize more and more power over time. But especially in the last maybe half century in this country, it has been increasingly concentrated at the federal level.
And I think it picks up over time. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that starts little by little, but the more it grows, the quicker it grows.
Yeah.
Kind of works exponentially. Mm-hmm. Since we're kind of on the subject, the government's shut down right now.
Yay. Nothing could be better.
Well, so I got in this conversation with my wife this morning because she was asking questions about the government shutdown because she didn't really understand. And the more we talked, I realized maybe I don't understand this much either because the only things that are shut down are parts that are non-essential. So why do we have them?
Yeah.
If they're non-essential, then...
Well, you might remember from COVID times that the government is pretty bad at identifying what's essential and what's not.
100%. But I just thought, and what I ended up telling my wife in the end, I was like, well, anything that's non-essential should be done outside the government. Mm-hmm. So anything that we're deeming as non-essential just shouldn't be part of the government at all. Yeah. It should be handled through the free market. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the best way I can look at it, but...
Yeah. I was talking with somebody at work today, and we got to talking about some of the arguments that I was making on this podcast at the beginning of the COVID stuff, especially after the vaccines arrived. And I was telling her that I am a big believer in the mRNA technology, that I've been funding research into mRNA technology for like a decade now. And
yeah.
And she said, well, it's a good thing because the government's not anymore. And I said, yeah, I think that that's a good thing that the government's not anymore. First off, those particular companies have massive profits.
Yeah.
And they don't need our money to do their research. They can take the risk on their own for those profits.
They can maybe run a few less advertisements on the TV.
Well, that's coming.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's coming. You may know something I don't.
Well, that's a serious thing that they're going to try and eliminate pharmaceutical ads.
Have they? I haven't heard that. I mean, I know RFK talked about it before he was in the position,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard anything about it since.
I haven't gotten to read into it, but I saw a headline like in the last few days.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that may be coming.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I had heard something yesterday saying that they may make them list the side effects more boldly.
Yeah.
In
List all the side effects.
all of the side effects like more boldly in the
And
advertisements.
it'll price them out.
Well, it'll make them not want to do it anymore.
Yeah, because it'll price them out. Like
Yeah.
their minute ads will turn into 4-minute ads because there's so many potential side effects.
Yeah, and why would you want to advertise a drug that has so many side effects anyway?
Well, the real problem is you have to pay for all that time.
Yeah. But it goes back.
If you quadruple your advertising costs, then suddenly it becomes less
Yeah,
worthwhile.
but it's not really about the money or so much. I mean, what they're paying for is for the networks to be dependent upon them and not talk negatively about them, because if not, they'll pull their advertising.
Right.
I mean, that's where the real problem with the advertising is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that the length of the advertisement will necessarily affect that.
Yeah. Well, back to the story.
Anyway, I'm pulling you off track.
Yeah, and we don't know that this is like we don't know that this is going to happen. It's just, like I said, I just saw a headline.
Well, like I
didn't get a
said, but
chance
it
to
was
read the
talked about a
article,
lot before during the election.
Sure.
So I mean, we should be expecting.
And he talked about
that.
it before too.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
So I said, like, I have a problem with government deciding or putting money into research, arts, like all of these things anyway, because it pulls those industries in particular directions that are beneficial to the government for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it distorts the market again. It makes them not beholden to the people, but beholden to the government. And I said, for example, like my mom worked at NOAA for a while. Yep. And she said, in the time there, like you could see like just the way grants were requested, because government is the single biggest funder, is that it became obvious that if you wanted money, your proposal needed to be about climate change.
Yeah.
And so you just incorporated climate change into whatever proposal like you were making. So if you wanted to study like the reproductive behaviors of squirrels, then it would be, instead of submitting a grant for to study reproductive behavior of squirrels, you would submit a grant for the effects of climate change on the reproductive behavior of squirrels, this kind of thing.
And all of a sudden the money starts rolling in.
Yeah. And so in a realistic sense, it's the, kind of the broken window thing. It's the unseen stuff. Like you're pulling money away from other research that may be valuable to put it into research that can help support some kind of government narrative.
Yeah.
And then arts and music and, those kind of things, it's just a problem because bureaucrats don't know anything about that stuff. They like fund things that aren't interesting to people, that then become interesting to like socialites or whatever because there's money there, but
Well, I think that's a big part that the average Joe doesn't understand. Like most people just think, well, this stuff just wouldn't exist without the government, like talking about with your funding and different things like that. And what they don't understand is the I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the government doesn't have any money anyway.
Yeah, it's all your money.
It's all your money
they
anyway.
Steal your money and give it to somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, and where I was wanting to go with that though is they well, I lost it again.
Well,
I had it.
You're not even sitting here by yourself.
I know, right? Can't even hold the train of thought. But yeah,
lay off the whiskey. Put that bottle down, man.
Go get another bottle. But yeah, it doesn't work.
Well, the funniest thing was like after I went through this, diatribe, she said, if you don't think it should be funded, why are you funding it? And I said, no, I think it should be privately funded.
Yeah.
I think that all of this stuff should be privately funded. Let
Yeah, because-
people who have money put money into places that they think it's valuable instead of the government making that decision for me and taking my money to put it into something that maybe I don't want it to go to. At least it's voluntary if I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, and the government's going to use it for its own agenda anyway. That's
Right.
where I was trying to go a minute ago.
Yeah.
Is that, it's going to, they have their own agenda with their own ideas, and that's where that money is going to go. And it's usually not in your interest, in the people's interest.
Yeah.
Because if it's in the people's interest, then the people would fund it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it becomes an excuse not to.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of my things about charity is that if government takes over charity, which they've mostly done, or that's what they claim to do anyway.
Yeah.
Like the government's responsible for taking care of people who can't take care of themselves and all that stuff. Then it becomes an excuse for people not to give on their own.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, why should I help that person out? The government, that's what the government's for. I'm paying taxes.
I'm already contributing through my taxes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the truth is, people could afford to contribute more on the things that they think is important if they weren't paying the taxes.
Exactly.
So
There would be a lot more money going to charity if the government wasn't paying the charity for us.
exactly.
Wow, that was a path.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it went at work today too, actually.
Really? One of those days.
Yeah. In terms of like my conversation with the lady at work, it like started in one place and ended. I was like, how in the world did we get there
Yeah.
from here? I think it actually started with that Lysander Spooner thing
Oh,
because
really?
I just wanted to read it to somebody.
Yeah.
So it even started in the same place. Didn't end in the same place, but it just, followed a similar pathway.
Yeah.
Weird stuff going on. So you wanted to talk a little bit about BB talking in front of the UN. So
Yeah. Well, what was left of the UN after they all walked out?
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a very large portion of them, from what I understand,
yeah, it took a while.
for them to file out.
Yeah.
I didn't see videos of them leaving, but I did see some video of like after they had all left, like who all was left in there afterwards.
Yeah.
And a few clips of the like people trying to clap and make it loud.
The Israeli delegation being as loud as they could.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty funny too.
I saw some of that.
The whole thing. Okay, so the stuff about Trump's peace plan. So many problems.
Yeah.
There's always poison pills in these things. So the Palestinians cannot agree, so that way they can be blamed as being the impediment to peace.
Yep.
It's the same thing that we do with Russia. Like, okay, well, we're going to propose a peace plan that why in the world would you agree to it? And then when you don't agree to it, we're going to say, see, like it's always the Russians. They just don't want to stop fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, the same thing here.
You didn't really give them an option to stop fighting.
Yeah, you presented them a plan that they cannot possibly accept, and then you blame them when they don't. And of course, so Netanyahu in English talking to the president says, "Oh, this is a great plan. We can't wait to implement this plan." And then immediately afterwards goes and gives another press conference in Hebrew where he says, "Yeah, we're ignoring all this. We're not doing this."
Yeah.
Okay. You do realize that there are translators out there that aren't on your side, right?
Well,
Like,
I think the hope would be that the Palestinians would go on and accept this, just if nothing else, to slow the war down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that it'll stop it, because I don't think they'll get far enough into the process for it to stop. The way the structure is.
Well, and Israel never follows through on any of these things.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the problem is a lot of the stuff is front loaded that the Palestinians have to give up all of this and do all of that. And as far as like letting hostages go and turn in all of Hamas and all of that stuff, which, would be all fine and good if you had any kind of assurances that the Israelis would hold up their end at the back end of that.
Right.
But everybody knows that's not going to happen.
Yeah, history suggests that they have no intentions of
Exactly.
keeping their end of the bargain.
So
And then if Hamas doesn't follow their end of the bargain because they know the Israelis won't follow their end of the bargain, Hamas is obligated first, so therefore they're the ones that broke the treaty, right?
exactly.
Yeah. This is very clever stuff. And the other thing that I find interesting, well, okay, one more thing on that point, is that Israel has already said that they are giving Palestinians one last chance to leave Gaza City, and anyone that's left there is going to be a terrorist, even if they're a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Of course, the United States did the same thing in Vietnam. We declared areas,
terrorist areas.
Yeah, and if you weren't a combatant, then you need to leave. But people weren't leaving their villages.
Yeah.
And then we just we chalk them up as enemy combatants, even.
Yeah.
Like regardless of age or gender or whatever. Yeah. So this is an age-old trick.
Tactic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how many times can you ask people to pick up and move?
Well, that's the other thing, especially if you bomb them on the way. Like if there's only so many pathways to where they're supposed to go, and you drop bombs on the pathways too.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, Gaza's just like completely destroyed. It like the whole place is pretty well wiped at this point.
Which was the goal in the first place. It was force them to leave, kill them or force them to leave. And if you make it completely unlivable there, then maybe they'll finally go, and we can claim it as our own.
Yeah.
The whole idea of, well, we're going to move the Palestinians out of Gaza and fix it up, and then we'll bring them back. Everybody knows better than that. Yeah. They're not coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
They would never be permitted back in. And Israel's trying to do the same thing in the West Bank right now, and there is no Hamas in the West Bank.
Yeah, sorry.
But there's still, this is the part that people haven't paid enough attention to that might really make a difference in how people are perceiving what's going on in Israel, is if they saw all the reports about Israeli settlers going in there and kicking people out of their homes this entire time in the West Bank and killing Palestinians in the West Bank, and because they don't have the excuse of Hamas in the West Bank. It makes it clear that it's not about Hamas at all. It's about claiming that territory.
It's about territory. Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the stories out there that, nobody will take the Palestinians in because they're just impossible to live with or whatever. Yeah. Like, hear that on No Agenda quite a bit, actually, as an example. But, it seems very ironic that somebody in this country would say that other countries should take in 10% of their population in of foreign migrants when we're having so much more trouble with so much less of a percentage of the population here. Yeah. Like, is it not clear yet to Americans that maybe taking in huge numbers of foreign migrants can be disruptive?
Yeah, a little bit.
So why would they? And the other part of that is that all those countries around there, Egypt and Syria and Lebanon and Jordan, they already have huge populations of Palestinians because they already have huge populations of Palestinian refugees from Israel.
Yeah, they've already taken in so many.
Yeah.
There's
still refugee camps of Palestinians in all of those countries, except maybe Egypt. I don't know that there's Palestinian refugee camps in Egypt, so I bet there are, but I don't know that. But I know those other countries, there's still Palestinian refugee camps.
Yeah. It just seems, why wouldn't you just give these people their land? That just seems like the obvious solution here. Like, we can't, something has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, they have to either be given a land or be given citizenship in Israel. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't see how you cannot choose one of the two.
Yeah.
Like, the third option just doesn't exist.
Oh, it clearly does.
It does, but it's nasty and horrible and inhumane.
Yeah.
Israel
has always been an expansionary power.
Well, yeah.
From its inception.
From the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm interested in seeing what happens next is that Turkey's kind of had enough of this too.
Yeah.
But Turkey's a NATO power.
Yeah.
If Turkey turns on Israel, then where are we? We don't actually have any kind of formal alliance or anything with Israel, but we do have a formal alliance with Turkey.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's where NATO ends.
Yeah, might be.
It could be on some level.
I mean, we're under no obligation to attack Israel with Turkey if Turkey decides to attack Israel.
Yeah, but it makes the alliance a mess. I mean, so I have no clue. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. But do you think that they would actually kick Turkey out of NATO for something like that? Like, would that be a possibility?
I suppose there's probably a possibility. I don't know what the mechanism for that is, though.
See, I don't know either. That's.
I mean, I don't think that there's like a list of
You can't-
countries you're not allowed to attack if you're a member of this alliance, except for each other.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, that would make sense, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know how that works from there.
Interesting. I have to look into it.
Like we're already, so we talked about the Nagorno-Karabakh thing in between Armenia and Azerbaijan years ago when that flared up.
Yeah.
And so in August, this is one of the wars that Trump has settled,
Oh yeah.
quote unquote, is the Azerbaijan-Armenia thing. But the way it's been settled is essentially that Armenia capitulated and agreed to hand over a parcel of land that creates a corridor from Turkey to Azerbaijan that includes a discontiguous area that was within Armenia that is considered to be part of Azerbaijan. All right.
Okay.
So I don't know. This is all like really complicated international relations stuff, but
Kind of in the weeds.
yeah. And I can't remember where exactly I was going with it, like what my point was going to be. But this also like it creates problems for Russia. Russia supports Armenia.
Yeah.
Whereas the West and Turkey support Azerbaijan.
So at least we're on the right. The NATO alliance is strong with this one.
Yeah, at least at least. Although it does seem to be Azerbaijan that is the more aggressive party in this.
Well, of course, because they've got the backing of NATO.
Yeah, I guess that's
I mean,
true.
that jives
The
with
US,
history.
It doesn't
Yeah.
even need NATO.
Yeah.
And technically, the U.S. controls this property,
Oh yeah.
this little corridor.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for 99 years, another one of these, like Suez and Panama and Hong Kong and
Fairhope.
like, and right. that's
Little inside joke.
yeah,
there.
that's a joke that almost no one's gonna get. So, but like all those other places at the end of the time period,
Yeah.
like problems arose.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what happens from there. We need to get off that. The other UN piece of news that I just find interesting is that still related to Palestine is that the U.S. denied the Palestinian representative to the UN a visa
Oh really?
to prevent the Palestinian representative to the UN from coming to the UN.
Well, let me just say that's kind of garbage because, like, just because it's held in our country, we shouldn't deny access to any representative. I mean, it just seems like that would make like logical sense that, you know, we don't own the UN per se. I mean, I know we probably do in de facto, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is that it's an international organization. And just because it's based in our country, we shouldn't deny access to representatives.
Well, don't worry, because we did invite and kind of fawn over Mohammed al-Jalani,
Yeah.
the self-proclaimed, essentially, president of Syria,
Yeah.
who is also a founding member of the Al-Nusra Front, which was Al-Qaeda in Syria that later rebranded as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. So we did invite the former like head-chopping terrorist guy who we fought on the other side of in every country except Syria. Syria, we supported him. But,
Yeah.
but you know, this is the group of people that attacked us on 9/11.
Yeah. So
we invited him, so we allowed him back to New York to
of
go
all
to the,
places,
to
right?
go to the UN, but not the Palestinian rep.
That is just wild. So he head chopped his way all the way to president of Syria
Exactly.
and got to go to New York. So.
And got to have General Petraeus fawn over him on a podcast or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was sickening. I'm a big fan of yours, Petraeus says. Like, we fought on opposite sides, and but I'm a big fan of yours now. You look great, and we wish you good health. Oh my God.
Wow, I may have to check that out. That just sounds like astonishingly, like, I don't know, cringe maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
So.
Another one of like news that nobody cares about. Moldova.
Yeah.
That is in Eastern-ish Europe.
Okay.
Near Ukraine.
Yeah.
They had elections last week.
Oh.
And like many countries in that part of the world, there is like a Western-leaning faction and a Russian-leaning faction.
Yeah.
And in this case, the Western-leaning faction won with 50.17% of the vote, while the Russian-leaning faction had a 24.18% of the vote. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is that the Western-leaning faction won with barely over half the vote after banning 6 opposition parties or more, at least 6 opposition parties, reducing the number of polls in Transnistria, which is a Russian, like a heavily Russian part of the country, from 41 to 12.
Wow.
They also had only 2 polls in Russia for roughly 500,000 Moldovans that live in Russia, while they had 73 polls in Italy for about 100,000 Moldovans that live in Italy. So, and there was a whole bunch of work by USAID beforehand, and then the EU kind of took over after USAID pulled out when Trump reduced all the funding.
I was going to say, I thought that was over.
Yeah. No, the EU moved in then,
Okay.
took the reins, as it were, from USAID to prevent misinformation, which means anything that might be pro-Russian.
Yeah. You can never have the government control what is misinformation.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like a standard rule here.
Oh, I got another quote I should read. Robert Heinlein. Oh, love Robert Heinlein.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a manipulated election.
Yeah.
This
Sounds
is the
like
kind of, like, all of this stuff, if it had happened in a country that was Russian-leaning, like Belarus or Georgia or someplace, then the West would be screaming foul about how it was a rigged election and so on.
How it was manipulated.
Nobody's complaining about it right now, of course,
Yeah.
because the West got its way.
No,
But
well, except for, imagine the people that voted the other direction.
well, sure. But yeah, it was just it was a heavily manipulated election to achieve a particular result, and they got it.
Yeah. So
Now, I don't know that the Russian-leaning faction would have won otherwise,
yeah.
but at least would have been a lot closer.
Well, it makes you think that they probably
2 polls for 500,000 people in Russia.
Yeah, it just you figure that they knew that they were going to probably lose this thing, and they needed to do something to hedge it their direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, you I don't know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Cheat to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so another quote then on that note
Yeah.
from Robert Heinlein. And I love this. This is a good one. He says, I began to sense faintly that secrecy is the keystone of all tyranny. Not force, but secrecy, censorship. When any government, or any church for that matter, undertakes to say to its subjects, this you may not read, this you must not see, this you are forbidden to know, the end result is tyranny and oppression, no matter how holy the motives.
Yep.
Mighty little force is needed to control a man whose mind has been hoodwinked. Contrariwise, No amount of force can control a free man, a man whose mind is free. No, not the rack, not fission bombs, not anything. You can't conquer a free man. The most you can do is kill him.
Yeah. Or cut out his tongue.
That's not enough. He's still a free man.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this will probably be the bulk, although we've spent a lot of time on like little things, I guess. Oh, and we haven't even addressed anyway. We've got time on that. We don't necessarily,
It's
depending on
fine.
how long this takes, we can hit it next time.
Ain't going away.
Yeah, no kidding. So there was a meeting. They called a meeting. The Trump administration called a meeting of the flag officers in the Army, like all these generals, pulled them back to D.C. to have a talk.
Yeah.
From all over the world.
Which is unusual from what I understand.
Absolutely. Now, people have seen the Hegseth speech and the Trump speech probably. Like this is the grandstanding. Although I do one more quote for the for the show.
Right.
I did find this one interesting from Hegseth. Actually, we'll get no, we'll do it now. He said, quote, "Since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe a republic a military that will win any war we choose or any war that is thrust upon us."
Yeah.
My emphasis, not his, probably.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
You read it.
I
You
read
the
it, yeah.
quote. Yeah.
But that one bothered me a little.
Yeah.
Any war we choose. Why are we choosing wars?
Well, because we choose a lot of wars.
Well, I know, but that's not what...
That's-
he
the
was one of those,
idea is we're not going to do that.
Yeah, he was one of those that said that, like, we need to stop being, like, military, sending military in everywhere all over the world.
Yeah.
And he actually said some of that in this speech too.
Yeah.
That we need to only go to war when it's necessary, but when we do, we go in with overwhelming force, which honestly I don't think is a bad principle.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have shown no interest of actually like looking at war as a last result or last resort.
Yeah. Well, we know we have the biggest military on the planet.
But we're not prepared to have multiple fronts.
Well, no, but I mean, but you're talking about people who have been in the position of power for so long, and we have been the top dog since World War II. You know, and it's just hard not to use that as a solution for everything.
Yeah.
Being war.
Everything's a nail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When your only tool's a hammer.
But after the grandstanding, there was a private meeting.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to assume that you bring in the flag officers from all over the world and have a private meeting with them so that you can prepare them for some imminent war.
Yeah.
And my note here after that note says, Venezuela beware. I think that's where it's going.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence to support that.
The Trump Rubio is a huge Venezuela hawk.
Yeah.
Has always been.
Yeah.
Cuban family. He thinks that getting rid of Venezuela as an ally to Cuba will weaken Cuba. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, is
entirely.
Cuba that strong?
No.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out here. Like,
no, they're not. Neither is Venezuela. I think, like, that's his reason, but others are using this weirdness as an excuse to grab Venezuelan resources. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
That's what I was fixing to say, is that this at the end of the day, this comes back to resources, and particularly oil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to acquire the oil in the Middle East too. That's Iran. That's a big part of the Iran thing. I don't know.
I mean, we went into Iraq and they were going to pay us back in oil.
Yeah.
That was 20-something years ago.
I think it cost us more than we made.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the national debt that has only went one direction since then.
That's certainly true. But the excuses are all stupid too. It's it's the war on drugs. We're like fighting the war on drugs. Venezuela is a big part. The Maduro regime is sponsoring drugs into this country. They're an imminent threat because of the overdose problem. Wait a minute, hang on. Let me back up and look at some of these things, right? Okay. First off, the drug center of the Americas is Colombia,
Yeah.
not Venezuela.
Yeah.
Almost all the cocaine in probably in the world, but certainly in the New World,
Yeah.
comes out of Colombia.
Yeah.
Very little of it passes through Venezuela before coming here.
Yeah.
The overdose problem, like the big rise in overdoses has been a result of fentanyl,
I was gonna say that's fentanyl.
which is mostly produced in labs in Mexico.
Yeah.
Again, not Venezuela.
Yeah. And we went hard on the last episode about why a war on drugs is a losing war anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to get into that aspect.
The problem here, though, is that Colombia and Mexico are relatively friendly to the U.S.
Yeah. And don't have a whole bunch of oil.
and don't have a whole bunch of oil. That's also true. Actually, that might be the biggest thing. Now, Colombia is friendly to the U.S., but they did just expel the Israeli diplomats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, everybody kind of seems to be turning on Israel, though. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, they expelled the Israeli diplomats because Israel attacked a flotilla, like an aid flotilla, going to Gaza and detained a couple of Colombians that were on the
board.
flotilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for that. So maybe that changes soon. Maybe we refocus now that they're turning against Israel. Maybe we refocus on Colombia a little bit more.
Unless they find a whole bunch of oil there, I wouldn't hold my breath.
And I still haven't figured out this Exxon, Chevron, Guyana,
The connection there.
Venezuela thing. There's something there. I'm sure of it, but I don't know what it is.
Wow.
So the roots of this problem are Colombia and Mexico, not Venezuela. Like, why are we going after Venezuela?
Yeah.
And the Trump administration has talked about dropping bombs in Venezuela. Now they say they're doing it to disrupt the drug trade, and they're going after narco terrorists in Venezuela.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they're talking openly about military force within the country of Venezuela,
Yeah.
not in international waters like we'd been doing up until now. And international law requires that we get permission if we're doing some kind of humanitarian military work.
Yeah, right. With our bombs.
Yeah, in another country. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is that the Biden administration recognized Edmundo Gonzalez as the legitimate winner of the last election in Venezuela and recognizes him as the rightful president of Venezuela. And, of course, the Trump administration has said that Maduro is a fugitive from American justice
I remember
for the indictments that they brought against him during his first term for drug trafficking
Yeah.
with little evidence. But does that mean that the Trump administration now can just ask Edmundo Gonzalez, who I believe is in Spain? He was... I think he fled to Spain afterwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, and say that that's consent because as far as our country is concerned, he's the rightful president of Venezuela.
We recognize him, so
Yeah.
it creates it just creates this mess, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. They say that Maduro must stop sending drugs and criminals to the U.S. Well, the drug part we already addressed. He's not really, especially compared to other players in our hemisphere, even
in the drug trade. Yeah.
And the criminals, the economic attacks on Venezuela in Trump's first term created a huge part of this immigration crisis that he used to gain his second term.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. You wonder if it was that clever.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if he just keeps stumbling forward like every other government official.
Yeah. I mean, he just seems to stumble into the right things.
Yeah.
So, in the right places at the right time. Like,
Let's attack Venezuela and create an immigration crisis, or not knowingly. All right,
Yeah.
let's attack Venezuela because they're a terrible communist regime and Maduro's awful, and we got to get Chavez out of there. Oh wait, no, he died years ago. Okay, fine, Maduro, whatever, the new guy.
yeah, whoever you guys.
Okay, all right, we've done everything we can. Huge sanctions, destroy their economy. The country's falling apart. Oh, look at all these people moving out of Venezuela and moving north to try and get into the U.S. You know, this is a real serious problem that's threatening America, and it's all Biden's fault.
Yeah.
And, you need me to help prevent the immigration crisis and solve the immigration crisis. Oh, if you look too close, I caused it. Yeah, but don't look too close, and most people won't.
I was going to say the majority of people won't look that close. And I think the immigration problem is a little larger than just Venezuela.
It is. It certainly is.
But Venezuela's a factor, though.
Venezuela is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear these reports of immigration problems in various U.S. cities, what are they talking about? They're talking about the Venezuelans.
Yeah. They're the ones eating the animals, right?
Right. I thought it was the Haitians.
Oh, it was the Haitians. You're right. I'm wrong. Anyway.
No, the Venezuelans are Trinidad de Arag. Wow, I messed up that one.
Yeah.
TDA.
Yeah.
They're TDA. They're the horrible gang.
Oh.
Trinidad del Uruguay?
Is that right?
Something like that.
Okay. There's another gang. I'm thinking of MS-13.
No, that's Mexicans, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think that one's Mexicans.
Okay. At any rate,
I'm not real up on all my gang.
Yeah, I don't know all my signs.
Yeah.
I'll have to go ask the kids when I get home.
Yeah, can't make it up. But I think that that's where we're moving. Like,
it could be. I'm interested to see because there's definitely a reason he pulled all those generals that way. Something big is going on or fixing to happen.
The other possibilities are Iran, but that's a bad move. And I know that that's what Israel wants. But you just made this case months ago that like the 12-day war destroyed Iran's nuclear program and we don't have to worry about them for a long time. So going back in there would require some splaining.
Yeah.
That I don't think that the administration wants to do.
I agree with all of that, but given some of the decisions this administration's made as far as like those type of decisions, I wouldn't put anything past them. They're really bad.
At forethought?
Yes, like it's kind of amazing how horrible they are with this. So,
we got some minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I just wanted to kind of mention the whole digital ID over in I think it's
the UK.
UK,
yeah. UK's pushing it. Starmer came out and said. You will now require a digital ID. Well, as soon as they implement it, it was supposed to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That digital ID will be required to work in the UK.
Yeah, that's the big thing is that you're going to need that. You're not going to be able to have a job or switch jobs because actually there was a little pushback as far as well, what if I already have a job? Maybe I can just opt out of this.
Yeah.
And there's no opt out. Like you must have this digital ID.
Yeah. The employers will be required to verify digital ID before they employ anybody. Now they already have like things that you have to be a citizen of the UK to have this ID, like the National Health Service ID.
I was going to say they have, I mean, basically like a social security number.
Sure, but they also have their National Health Service registration.
Oh, do they? Okay.
So, couldn't employers just check that?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need the digital ID? And that's why the digital ID is a problem.
Yeah.
Is why they want that instead.
Well, and I'll tell you, on the Liberty Mike, news feed thing on Facebook, I started getting flooded all of a sudden with all of these groups that are opposed to digital ID, just flooded with all these UK groups that are just like standing firm against this.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how far it gets, if there's going to be enough pushback. I mean, they're acting like they're just going to plow through this regardless of what the people want. And over there, they can probably do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of surprised to see so many social media posts about them, because I mean they control those there too. So
Right.
but I have
Well,
seen
you can't
some.
offend somebody. I think you can complain about some of the things the government's doing as long as you don't call Starmer a wanker or whatever.
Yeah, you can't use the W word.
Yeah.
But what really worried me with this is every time I see something about it, I just like Trump would be all over this, and the Republicans in general, honestly, because all they have to do is frame it as well, we need a way to know who's here. We need to track our population. Like,
The thing is that they've been pushing the Star ID for a decade, right?
Yeah.
And they just finally got it, like forced it through, made it so it's actually going to be implemented, or it has
yeah.
been implemented.
It's been implemented, yeah.
I think that they would have a hard time after that long fight, like adding another
Taking on
one
another
of these things.
fight. Yeah.
Because there was so much pushback on. I think, like through COVID and everything, the Americans just got tired of fighting over something that seemed a lot less of a problem,
Yeah.
and that's how the Star ID got through. But
Yeah.
I think that if they wanted to start a new fight over digital ID,
I mean, it'd be the logical next step, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, because
but
they're
not-
always stepping forward
but
here.
not immediately.
Yeah.
Like not during Trump's term. I don't think that they could get away with it during Trump's term.
Yeah. It just strikes me as something that he would be into.
Yeah, I understand that. So we should probably talk about why digital ID is frightening, though.
Yeah.
Because, hey, you already got a driver's license, you got a social security card, you got a whatever else.
Yeah. And all I need now is an app to prove who I am.
Yeah. One thing, and so that's the other thing. Like, all right, so you put this app on your phone. Well, now they can track you. Well, they're already tracking you, right? Like, I mean, the phone is
Google.
already a tracker,
Yeah.
right? So what's the difference? Well, okay, they have to go through the trouble of triangulating, at least if you have an iPhone, because Apple's been pretty good about protecting the privacy of their customers.
Yeah.
Actually, like, especially compared to the other companies.
Yeah.
But now, essentially, you're giving the government a tunnel to your phone. I'm going to download this government app onto my phone. So now they have their own tracker and tunnel backdoor into my phone.
And you have
potentially.
to have it. It's not a choice. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm upset with Google tracking me and following me, I mean, it sucks, but I can delete all of Google's stuff off my phone.
Yeah,
But I can't delete the government stuff that I have to get a job.
right.
It's just there's no opt out.
Or to go in anywhere. And just some examples of things that can be done with it, like the UK, actually, not just the UK, like most of the world, or at least the Western world, it seems like, would have been thrilled to have digital ID on your phone because you can connect so many other things to it.
Yeah.
So would have loved to have had digital ID on your phone during COVID. Because then it could be a scan to see if you've got the vaccine passport connected to your digital ID, or you can't come in the restaurant, or you can't, sit in the public park, or whatever it happens to be. Or take, for example, the trucker protests in Canada. Like, they were shutting those people off from their finances, but it would have been a whole lot easier with the digital ID.
Well, exactly.
And they can use that, since they can track you, they can identify people that are
where
staying.
you were at.
Yeah, staying in this area where the protests are going on that don't belong there.
Exactly. So now you've got the government telling you where you belong and where you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if anytime you have an ID that's going to give you rights to something that can easily be taken away, or their agreement can be changed, just like you're saying, like right now it's just like work or whatnot, but all we need is another crisis.
Yeah,
and then,
it quickly becomes the social credit score.
exactly.
That you are prohibited from accessing certain services or locations or whatever based on somebody's whim, really.
Oh, exactly. So
that's the danger of digital ID. Resist it at all costs. That's the worst thing that could happen. That's
Absolutely.
worse than central bank digital currency.
Yeah. And like I say, it is way
which
over.
is terrible too.
Which is
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's just as bad. I mean, it's happening way over there now. But, I mean, it is. The other thing that really worries me is that, like, Starmer just seems to be pushing through with this no matter what. Like, I mean, his attitude has been, at least from the interviews and the clips and stuff I've seen, is like, this is happening. Like, it's just, we're doing it tough, titty. Like, so, I mean, we work a little different here in this country, but not a lot, you know. And all it takes is for one country to really implement this and show, hey, it works, before everybody else starts jumping on.
Yeah. I still fly with my passport. I still don't have a star.
I still don't have a star ID. I haven't had to get on the plane. I mean, I figure if I do, I'll just get a passport.
But I tell you, the other thing is that all of the airports have implemented, well, all the airports that I've been through, and I've been through some pretty small ones.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like I'm just traveling through DFW and DCA or what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, like our local airport, Mobile or Pensacola, I flew to Idaho Falls. That was even smaller than Pensacola.
Yeah.
They're all using the facial recognition.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Seems like that is everywhere. Now, I may still have to take my laptop out of its case in Idaho Falls, where I don't have to do that in Pensacola, but they're both taking my picture when I go through with my boarding pass.
Really?
And of course it says, well, we delete these in 24 hours or whatever, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
So,
Surveillance state. Yay.
yeah, we definitely things to be watchful for out there.
Yeah.
And resist. Resist we much.
The problem, I guess at the core, the problem of all of this stuff is it just gives the government more control over your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
More insight into and more control. And you may say, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. It doesn't matter if you upset the wrong person.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. When you're dealing with the government, it's not about whether you're right or wrong. They're always wrong. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Except, de facto, they're always wrong. De jure, they're always right.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah. You just can't trust your government, and you can't trust that the people that are operating inside the government are all good faith actors.
Yeah. And for those of you that are big Trump supporters, just imagine this power in the Obama administration. And for those of you that were big Obama supporters, just imagine this power in the Trump administration.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that during the Bush administration, I had that argument with so many people about the Patriot Act. I was like, this is horrible. Like, this is so bad. It's like, oh, it's fine.
That's what really got me into politics was the Patriot Act.
Like, but there was no recognition at the time from right-wingers that this could be a problem in the future. You know, it was just this idea that, it's our people are in charge. They know what they're doing, blah, 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 blah. It's like, this is going to blow up in our face.
Yeah. That was Massey's thing, right? Is like, every power that you give to the government, remember what it will be like if the other side controls it.
Exactly.
Or how did he say it, though? It was something like, if the worst person controls it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because eventually that will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, for us, they're all the worst people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but for a lot of people that are on the side, they just envision the other one being worse. But spoiler alert, they all suck. So.
Yeah. Terrible. That was one of the things that I talked about with the girl at work today, that we got down the path that I started talking about Hans Hermann Hoppe and Democracy, the God That Failed.
Yeah.
And the incentives in a democratic government. And this is apropos nothing really. But I think it's just an interesting way of looking at things. Like a big part of his thesis was that the problem with a democratic government, and we see it today, is that the people are in power. The people in power only have access to the wealth or the resources of the state during the brief period of time that they hold office.
Yeah.
So the incentive it creates is for them to extract as much as possible during the time that they hold office, because that's the only time they have access to those resources.
Exactly. Unless you're like Nancy Pelosi or some of these people that have been there since like the 80s.
I'm pretty sure she's been extracting as much as she could that entire time.
Well, yeah, absolutely she has, because she's one election away from not having that power anymore. So
Right.
the incentive is to always extract. But at the same time, some of these folks been there a minute.
Yeah.
And their pocketbooks show it.
Yeah, you should not be able to become a multi-millionaire on a $250,000 a year salary.
Just make some good investments.
Yeah, it makes it easier when you control the
when you control the outcomes.
yeah.
So
When you can affect the market in a particular way, it does make it easier to invest properly.
yeah.
All right. Well, they're all corrupt and they all suck.
Yeah. That's a good place to end on.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. In the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean. Like and share, comment, subscribe everywhere.
Yeah, I'm really trying to grow the Facebook page right now. So I've been spending a little time trying to put things out there and put things in places where people will see them and whatnot. So if you follow the Facebook page, interact with us. And if you don't follow the Facebook page, join it. Unless you're not on Facebook. And if you're not, I understand.
We have an Instagram account that we've never really used.
I haven't even accessed it. Yeah.
I haven't in a while.
Um,
There's no pictures. There's no nothing. There's no nothing on there. But
mean,
that's probably a better. I was thinking while you're saying, I'm trying to grow the Facebook page. Oh, the site that everybody's trying to get away from.
yeah. I mean, it's the only site that I'm really active on, though.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just where I'm at.
Because you're a boomer.
I guess so. I feel like a boomer.
He's a millennial, just so everybody knows.
Sure.
He doesn't claim it, but he's a millennial.
I'm at the tail edge,
Yeah. No, you're at the leading edge.
leading edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're at the leading edge of the millennials.
Still though.
I'm like right in the middle of the Xers.
Yeah. Well. But yeah, like I say, if you're on that platform, interact with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. All kinds of interactions help. They just, all the interactions help the algorithm find us.
Yep. Which we've been pushed down pretty hard.
Yeah.
Our stuff ends
We
up
keep
at
saying things that
the
the establishment isn't fans of.
Yeah, I go to where our metrics is and stuff are. We got all of these like I don't know what they even call it, but marks against us, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. So so we need all the help we can get to break out of that.
Yeah, please make them pay more attention to us.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But please make them pay more attention to us.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back next week when we finally get this right. And in the meantime, try to stay free.
Life short, live free.
Ciao.
Later.